Did you think that you would be back in WWE?
Nope.
Huh.
Nope.
So how did this all come together?
So, I mean, Rumble's fun, right?
Sure.
Undeniable. Watching it, being in it, like, and so I did the first one, and it was monumental. It was historic. I had to be part of it, but I was asked 24 hours in advance, and I had not been training, and I had to take a red eye, spend all day in medical, getting cleared. And the first time I touched a ring since the last time, whenever you guys saw me touch a ring, was the last time I had touched a ring. So, I was like nervous in all the wrong ways. And I was still glad that I did it. There was only going to be one first Rumble. I was still happy to see all of the women. And I ultimately had a good time in my experience. But I was like, when they called me this year, I was like, yeah, I want to redo, so I had proper heads up, and I had been training. And so that was my motivation, was just like, it's fun. I want to see my girlfriends. And this time I want to like feel good, nervous going into it. And I did. And I was happy with, like, that was all. I'm like, and that wasn't all.
Well, so were you training just for fun? You were just in the ring just because?
Well, so they gave me like 6 weeks heads up to
but before that, were you in the ring before that?
No one goes in the ring for fun. No, Natty goes in the ring for fun. Everyone else is training for something. But in the meantime, so my pandemic thing is I started doing Twitch, and I met a bunch of people through there, and some Bay Area people. And so there is a drag queen, Pollo Del Mar, that has been in the wrestling scene here. And it turns out is a neighbor, only lives a couple miles from me. So we connected, and then they connected me with Dark Chic, and she came up with Hood Slam. Hood Slam's like a Bay Area wrestling for misfits, right? And like with no boundaries on it. Sometimes it's karaoke, sometimes it's a party, sometimes, and so I was able to, I had a crew, and I was able to go train with them for the Rumble. So in that 6 weeks, not only was I intensifying my gym training, I was in the ring, but also in the ring having fun and going, oh yeah, like it's fun to be in here. And also I remember this stuff. So I went into the Rumble feeling pretty good.
You also look like you had wrestled like yesterday. Like you looked it was like riding a bike, I guess.
It really did feel like that, and I didn't know how it looked. I was like, this feels fine, and I don't watch my stuff back. So I only just saw like clips from Twitter and stuff. And I was like, okay, it looks in the realm of what I did. So I'll leave it at that.
But this was supposed to just be the one-off Rumble appearance, and that was that?
Yeah, and I was happy for it. I was like, great, stop back and see old friends. And then as I was coming out of gorilla position, literally like WWE 24 was following me around doing episode. They were there just as I came out through the curtain, and there's Johnny Ace. And he was like, what do you think about wrestling Becky? And I was like, yeah, we've been trying to like we've been like fantasy booking that for kind of years. And I think she was more serious than I was. I was like, yeah, this is like a fun thing that we talk about sometimes. And then, so I felt like there was no way I could have said no to that. Even though it was 3 weeks from the moment he asked me, I would have liked 3 months from the moment he asked me, like gearing up from like, yeah, it's fun to see my old girlfriends, to like, oh, a title match, singles match
on the other side of the planet.
2 totally different like training, but like opportunity, you just take opportunities when they're there, right? Like the media like thing I thought about was like, like people that I like, friends that I have that wanted kids are like, well, first we're going to save this much money, then we're going to do this, then we're going to buy that house, and then we're going to have children. And like a year later they're pregnant, and they're not like, no, I'm not going to take this. This is what's happening now. And so it's like, you just go with what's in front of you.
But I would imagine though that you had a bunch of stuff that was already planned out, like in, your quote unquote regular life, that you had to then put on hold for the match with Becky.
For sure, because I mean, even just leading up to Rumble, like my regular schedule has been pretty flexible and Zoom oriented and, you know, just like a lot easier to work around than like, oh yeah, you're going to be schlepping across the country. And so it's like, yeah, it's not just TVs, but it's by the time I get there and back, like it felt pretty full time. But because it was so short, I really felt like I could just pull all of the good and let any of the delayed connecting flights or like, you know, wait, I'm in Omaha, I'm in a blizzard. This is not why I moved to California, you know, like that type of stuff. It's like, yep, just like roll with it. If that was my life grinding, you know, for years, I'd be like, I cannot go to Omaha to get, like, no offense to Omaha. There's actually one of my favorite restaurants there, but you know, it was just I don't know, I just felt like novel and just like, all right, we're doing this thing. And I felt similar to when I decided I was going to be a wrestler, like almost saying it out loud, like, you know, forever. If people like, you know, are you in a band or why are they taking your picture? I'm just like, I don't know. I guess they like my jacket or so, you know, like I'm just kind of like downplaying it. And now I'm just like at the corner store, like, did you know I'm going to wrestle a women's championship? You know, like, it's like, I'm, it's the same as like when I was like, you know, I'm going to be a wrestler, right? Like I'm saying it out loud because for my benefit. So it's like, I found myself doing that where somebody was like, oh, why are those cameras there? You know, when WWE came to like follow me for training, and WWE camera crew is used to us like downplaying every, you know, like nobody really wants to talk about it. And I was like, because I'm going to wrestle a big match in Saudi Arabia, you know, and it was like, who is this person talking? Because it was it was like, say it out loud enough times. This is happening. Yeah. Get used to like let it sink in that it's happening.
And you're also holding yourself accountable to it, like, because you're putting it out there. Yeah, you have to live up to that standard.
That's a thing I've always done, and I didn't think of it that way. But like, I'll keep things to myself. But once I feel like I'm going to do something, I tell everyone, and it's to hold myself accountable, so that when I see that person in 3 months, they're like, whatever happened to that thing? And I'm like, in fact, it's right here, you know. Like, oh, well, you know, I was just talking a bunch of shit.